Hello. I'm going to answer the 6 questions. The 6 questions are, how does storytelling help children? Why storytelling? Attention deficit disorder and storytelling. How could storytelling help family bonding? 5, once upon a time, storytelling and grandparents correlated the most, not anymore. Any comments? And 6, parents are busy. They either don't narrate stories to children, or if they do, they simply read it out without expressions. What can parents do to engage in storytelling now? Okay, so first, how can storytelling help children? Well, of course, there's telling stories to children and storytelling by children. Both of them are helpful for child development. It activates the imagination. It helps them think about solving problems. Of course, if it's in English, it's or whatever language it's in, it helps them develop language abilities. Most importantly, probably, is that it helps them develop their imagination and their ability to play with their imagination, so that they can try out strategies, or they can see what happens when characters use certain strategies, and then they can decide whether or not to use those strategies in real life. So why storytelling? Well, I guess what I just said is pertains to story, which can be presented in performance or in books or in movies. So the second question, I'll answer, what are the advantages of the actual storytelling process? Storytelling refers to using the voice and body, primarily in a social situation, in a live social gathering, even if it's just a parent and a child. So in that kind of situation, there's feedback going on between everybody, and it's interactive, especially if the listener is allowed to speak. If she's not allowed to speak, at least she can use her facial expressions and other body language. So what are the advantages of this method of presenting stories? I have identified a process that happens with storytelling performance, which is that when we play characters, we tend to put our listeners in the position of the character who is being addressed by the character we are playing. In other words, if I said, the elephant said to the mouse, how are we going to stop this lion? This lion is killing too many animals. How can we stop him? And the mouse might say, I have a plan. The elephant might say, yes, but you're just a little mouse. Can you really do it alone? And the mouse said, yes, I can do it. So when I played the mouse and I said, yes, I can do it, I don't need your help, it was the mouse talking to the elephant, but you, the listener, will also put it in the position of the elephant. When I played the elephant and I said, well, you're just a little mouse, I'm not sure if you can do it, I'm the elephant, you, the listener, are put in the position of the mouse. Oh, you're just a little mouse. So you might even begin to formulate a reply on behalf of the mouse. But I was constantly switching roles, so I didn't give you a chance. So this sort of audience participation, it happens in reading dialogue also, but I think it's a special quality of storytelling. You know, generally there's social bonding that happens during a storytelling event, and that's usually a nice thing. Okay, 3, attention deficit disorder and storytelling. If a person can settle down and go into his or her imagination and really think and feel about what characters are going through, either as a teller or a listener, I think that might help a person settle down and pay attention. So storytelling, story listening, in some cases can help people settle down and really get into it, get into the story through empathizing with the characters, identifying, projecting themselves into the characters. So that's what I would say about attention deficit disorder. Attention deficit disorder means the child is just running, and won't settle and won't concentrate for whatever reasons. So I suggest an experiment. Try a story process with the child, either telling to the child or asking the child to help make it up, and then see if the child can get into it and settle down. Okay, how can storytelling help family bonding? Well, as I say, storytelling is a form of public speaking that also involves some acting. So in the public speaking part, narrating, we're telling what happened. So we're giving information. In storytelling, two things that go on are giving information and the social bonding, the interpersonal bonding. The two things happen at the same time, whether it's a family or not. In the old days, as you say, there were many stories within each family, including family histories. As a young person would get educated about the family's story, they would all become more close at the same time, ideally. Just like in any social gathering, there is bonding during storytelling. This will happen in families also, if the basic relationships are on track and healthy in the first place. Okay, once there used to be storytelling with grandparents. Yes, it's true, with the dissolving or the lessening of extended families and grandparents often not living with the young people, and young people often being more interested in electronic gadgets. There has been a shift in the last 50 or so years away from local traditional culture and towards getting most culture from electronic gadgets. So the grandparents often are not so involved in the child raising process anymore. It's a good project to have young people interview their grandparents about their life stories, the grandparents' life stories, and the family history. And not every parent, even in the old days, not every parent, not every grandparent knew a lot of stories. It's something that some people care about and enjoy more than others. So we can't say that every grandparent was a good storyteller. Now that the extended families have lessened somewhat, to fill that niche has come professional storytellers who sometimes work at schools, activity centers, sometimes come home and give lessons or performances at homes or for birthday parties. So this is a sort of substitute for the grandparents, the professional storyteller. 6, parents are busy working. They either don't narrate stories to children, or if they do, they simply read it out without expression. What can parents do to engage in storytelling? Well, as you say, if they are reading, they should convey some of the emotion, especially when they're playing characters. When you're playing characters in storytelling, that's the time when you can really change your voice a little, change your body a little, and get into the emotional condition, the emotional state of the character. So parent who is just reading can just slow down and get into it. It's not just about giving information about who said what and who did what. It's getting into the emotion of it and thinking about the situation, feeling out the situation, so that the listener can also absorb what's going on emotionally and think it and feel it. So parents can do that, but also everyone has certain favorite stories. Even parents today have favorite grandmother stories. So if they take the time to go into their imagination and tell it and act out the characters, they also can become good storytellers. I often wonder why in business now so many people there's so many communication skills workshops and soft skills workshops. It does seem that with the advent of technology and the information technology and the engineering and the financial, that have people are people paying less attention to the human side of work and the human side of life? I think that may have happened somewhat, and that's why professionals are called in to do communication skills training. This can also apply to storytelling. I give storytelling workshops with parents. So if people want to develop that, there are certainly opportunities, both in person and by video conference, where one can receive training in storytelling or in other communication skills. When we're hired by resource development offices and companies, we come in under the category of communication skills. So whether we're doing that in business or in homes or in schools, storytelling really is largely about communication. Okay, I'm signing off. I hope these answers are helpful for your project there in Jaipur. Bye-bye for now.